Fitin10 Nation, it is day 59, and that means 11 days to go. A little over 1/7 of the challenge, to put it into perspective. Still, you can make some really good change in 11 days. We know this because we've seen really good change in 21 days, right? We know this from your second to third scan. Most of you made a tremendous change in that time. Scans are going to run, I think I mentioned this yesterday, scans are going to run April 6th and 7th. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. That's going to be on the 11th week. Okay, so after the challenge. And then we'll do the finale that weekend, okay? So it's going to come up very soon here. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't count, obviously, right? I'm going to keep preaching this. Keep driving it home. You need to sprint until you get over the finish line. Keep sprinting, and hopefully you'll keep sprinting, okay? Well, this is actually more akin to a marathon, but sprinting in the sense of giving it your all in terms of effort, right? Okay? Not sprinting in terms of being unrealistic and extreme, right? Because that's not possible for a marathon. And this is all about the long game. This is all about the long game. All right, more questions here. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. I want to drink. I think I may have said this yesterday, but anyways, I want to drink at least 64 ounces of water per day this week. Keep track of how much water I drink in my fitness pal. Okay, great idea. Yes, this is a little over 2 liters. It's a great place to start. But 2 liters actually isn't really that much. This person is overall a smaller person, so this is a great starting point, but you could certainly work your way up to 3 liters per day, or about 96 ounces of water per day. We could just call it 100, I guess. Name something specific you need help with. Is there a way to easily count macros when it comes to rice, pasta, quinoa, or anything dry after it has been cooked? I think we already went through this yesterday, didn't we? All right, let me just say something else about this. They usually give out nutritional information, certain serving amount, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I know I went through this yesterday. My apologies. But listen, I'll just reiterate here, just measure out whatever it is raw. So just measure it out and then cook it. So if if a serving of a quarter cup of cooked rice is going to give you, let's just say for argument's sake, it's 4 times the amount, which I think is somewhere around accurate, 3.5 to 4 times the amount. That's going to be of white rice. That's going to be about 40 grams of carbohydrates. So basically what I'm saying is you can do this, right? Whatever macro amount you have for whatever dry amount you have, you could maybe double it or triple it. Okay, just so you can make multiple servings. Cook it, so you know the starting amount. Cook it, and then just weigh it afterwards and see what it gives you. And then break it up into however many servings you want. So let's just use a quarter cup of cooked rice, okay? So let's assume that it gives us, just for ease of calculations here, let's assume 1/4 cup gives us 1 cup cooked. If we cook 1 cup raw, we're going to get 4 cups cooked. Okay, and so, that's going to be about 160 grams of carbohydrates. And rice is pretty much pure carbohydrate, okay? So that's going to give us, about 650 calories. But let's put the calories aside. Just knowing those macros from that point, you can then, go with a measurement rule of whatever that weighs afterwards, right? Or you could divide it up evenly into servings based on measurements. Although I don't really like measurements with rice because it can be a little bit, is it packed in? Is it just sitting in there? So I would definitely go more, in the case of rice, for instance, I would go more with weight. All right? My apologies if I'm just repeating myself from yesterday, but I don't think I am. I'm just kind of normally I have to repeat things in different ways. I just want to make sure I finished off this question. However, if we cook more than a serving and then measure it when cooked, how do we calculate it easily without having to cook it exactly serving the measuring? Yeah, so just do what I mentioned, okay? So take whatever raw, look up the macros on it. Great, now you know it. Cook it, reweigh it, and then you can portion it out from there. Does that make sense? And then you'll always know, okay? I mean, it may not be exact, but it's never exact when it's cooked because, same goes for meat, for instance, right? If you cook chicken and you cook it, say, a certain batch of chicken, let's just call it 2 pounds, and you cook it at the same temperature, right, say 400, and you cook it for, let's say, 18 minutes, and that's about where it's going to be perfectly cooked. And then you weigh, and then you measure it, or you do the same thing, and then you cook it at, let's say, the same temperature, same amount, but you cook it for, say, 23 minutes, right? That one at 23 minutes is going to be slightly less per serving, right? There's going to be more water drawn out of it, okay? So we just have to do our best in terms of keeping the cooked amounts. The same cooking procedures, try to keep it just as even as possible, okay? Hopefully that makes sense to you. Let me know. Does drinking more water affect fat loss? Well, it has an effect on your metabolism, okay? Now again, not a lot, but when you add up all the things that are not a lot, it becomes a lot, right? So let's just assume that, you burn an extra 40 calories a day, which wouldn't be, from, let's say, tripling your water. Okay, so let's say you're drinking, or quadrupling your water. Let's say you're drinking half a liter now, you're going to go up to 2 liters per day. You're going to get an extra, let's say 2%. Okay, it's not going to be a lot. There is an increase in your metabolic rate, but it's not going to be a lot. But let's say it's 2%. Okay, and that works out to be, let's say something reasonable here, 40 calories. That's still going to be 40 calories every day. And then, if you keep up with that and let's say your protein in your diet, right? Because protein's got a much higher digestive cost than other foods, right? This is something that you've implemented now into your diet, more higher protein. So now you're expending extra calories per day. You add that to your water, right? And then, let's just say, for instance, that you add in an extra 1,000 steps per day. An extra 1,000 steps per day. That's about 10 minutes of walking. That's going to be about another, let's say, 40 to 50 calories. All these little things here add up. Okay, so, coming back to your question, does drinking more water affect fat loss? It burns calories, which will affect fat loss, yes. How much? Not a lot. Doesn't mean it doesn't count, though, right? As I just gave you a scenario right there. Doing those 3 things I just listed, right? Keeping your protein higher, right? Increasing your water, doing 1,000 steps per day, you're getting probably somewhere around 120 to 150 calories extra burned, maybe more. And now add that up every day, right? All these little things add up, okay? It's the little things, it's the consistency of these things that are going to make a big difference down the road, okay? Okay, if so, how? If I were trying to lose fat, should we increase our water intake or just stick to 8 glasses of water per day? Water per day rule. Okay, so the more water you drink, the more calories you'll probably end up burning. Okay, I say probably only because, listen, your body, every time you take in something, your body has to spend some energy to do something with it, right? So you take in water, it has to do things like, unless you're drinking it right at temperature of your, drinking at 37 degrees Celsius, it either has to cool it or it has to warm it. That takes energy. It also it's got to process it, right? It's going to go to some areas in your body. It's going to be excreted. This all takes energy. Okay? Okay, and obviously water itself doesn't contain any energy. Okay, at least not to the human body. So it does contain energy, just so you know, but it doesn't have a calorie. Okay, so you can think of this as sort of, again, kind of like if I drink, I'm going to burn calories. So the more you drink, the more calories you'll burn. But it's not going to be significant. Okay? But it all makes a difference, like I just mentioned, okay? Jesus, 10 minutes. I feel like I said nothing. Okay, let's go to the message of the day. And there's probably other things about water that affects your metabolism. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, or I don't know. Okay. Day 59, message of the day. Your potential, your absolute best you're capable of, that is the metric to measure yourself against. Remember, anyone can win, okay, let's say win this challenge, but not everyone is the best possible version of themselves. And that's what's most important, okay? Let's try to be the best possible version of yourself every day. Yes, I know you'll have rough days. Yes, I know you'll fall down. The point is to get back up and keep moving in the right direction, right? So I'm going to say this again. Your potential, your absolute best you're capable of, that's the metric to measure yourself against, not other people. Don't measure yourself against other people. Don't look at other people and ask why. Look at what you can do to improve yourself. Ask yourself, is it possible for me to improve? Is it possible for me to improve? Is it possible for me to improve in any aspect of my life? If it is, let's work towards that. You'll only get better. Okay? And it doesn't have to be anything big. Just like adding in a bit of water burns a little more calories. You can think about just working a little bit harder in a certain capacity will help you. Okay? And probably in many facets of your life. Okay? Do not compare yourself to other people. Just compare yourself to yourself. See where you can improve. See where you can improve. Your potential, your absolute best you're capable of. That's the metrics. That's the metric to measure yourself against. Remember, anyone can win, whatever that means. But not everybody is the best possible version of themselves. Okay? Be the best possible version of yourself. Help yourself. Help yourself, okay? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. Talk to you all very soon. See you guys.